Welcome to the Activity Call Live, and now our host, Andy Albright.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like that, the emotional, the ability to, because when you go, you're supposed to get point A. I'm trying to get everybody into this business, move ahead, get smarter, right? And the way you do that is you go like, you do this and you do this and you do this. You get angry. You come down here. You're not going this direction. You're going this direction as opposed to that direction. You see Rajas hanging up, holding the book up. Circle of view. Circle of view is you're going from point A to point B. And every time you go down, you're spending energy and wasting time that you could be going this direction. When you're too excited, you party for 2 days. You got to have a party, and there's nothing wrong being depressed. You know, you have a cousin die, depressed. The agent quits on you because he won the lottery, and you're kind of happy for him, but you kind of not. Cause, oh God, he's not going to be selling anymore. I lose that money, or whatever. Something bad happens. You know, it's okay to be like, it's kind of rough, but you can't go like, it's kind of rough. I'm not going to take a week off. I got to recover. So you're not going that direction. So you're doing this right here when you need to be doing this right here. And so this is a good example of like what's going on right now. Like I want to scream and shout and stuff like that. What's the point? I ain't making no money. No, it's speakers. It's some serious. We've done this flawlessly 1,000 times. But occasionally it's like somebody didn't hit that button or switch or whatever it was. Life goes on. Patrick, make sure they know, or Clay, whichever one sees, make sure they know that we can't hear them even on here. They probably do know that.
Sounds like they can hear you.
Yeah, they can hear me. So I'm talking to them three. But I you know, it's not going, I don't need to know what you're saying, Rojas. I mean, without,
Now?
Yeah, but that's not going to work on YouTube. I appreciate you. But I can't hear them. Can't really. All right. So you think everybody can hear me, Zoom and YouTube. Okay. So one thing I said is I'm having a crazy day. Today is 38 years for our wedding anniversary. And Spencer and Meredith are in the hospital. So progress is being made there. Our meetings went crazy good. Our international meetings, people that are here in America, we're calling our New America Attack, our New America Takeover.
Test.
We did Lucero, come up here with me. Let's go over our different calls that we did. Rojas, talk to us.
Test.
Loud, clear.
Test.
Can you guys hear me? Hi, Andy.
Loud. It's louder than it's ever been.
Let's go.
Good deal.
One time when I worked at a textile mill and we had these sewing machines, this lady, she was complaining like crazy. And the technician did everything we could. My machine's slower. And finally, the technician, he said, watch this. And he tied that cord in a real tight knot and plugged it in. He kept looking around and he come over there and he said, I see it. And he took that cord and took the knot out and plugged it in. And she went, I think that was it. Because we couldn't find anything wrong. So he made up something to fix. Come here so I can see you. Okay, so tell them what we did as far as opportunity meetings yesterday.
Yeah, so we did a round of 5 different calls in different languages and accents. Last night, Mimi Romero did a Creole opportunity meeting. Oscar Calderin did a Spanish.
Do you have stats about how many was there?
Yep. Mimi Romero had 29 people on her call. Oscar Calderin had 24 people.
That's Oscar right there.
That's Oscar. Ryan Chang had 26 people. Adebisi had 42 people, and Pavan had 17 people on their call yesterday.
Okay, so 5 different categories that we kind of we think what we're trying to do is create community and also bridge any communication gaps. Because I mean, Mimi Romero is one of my best friends. She speaks Creole. I think she speaks a lot of French also and English. But still, there's cultural things that I say that I know it don't make any sense to her. It's better a lot more with her, a lot more with um, Jason and Olga Mathis. I mean, I can tell when I'm talking Olga sometimes. Like if I say between a rock and a hard place, or how's your mom and them, or did you wear your brogans today? You know, there's so many things you say that are like confused as a biddy in high weeds, or confused as a termite in a wooden yo-yo going round and round, up and down. That's pretty confused to me. But if you say that to somebody in Hindi, I don't know if they have wooden yo-yos with you know, termites in them. You know, I just not sure that it translates. As somebody, I just heard somebody text me, some of the normal Southern people don't understand what you're talking about, Andy. Just some of the North Carolina people have no idea what you're talking about. Spencer, my son's told me this. Dad, you know, sometimes people have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, you know, the Hispanics? He's like, no, nobody. No, African didn't pick up. Colombian didn't pick up. Nobody knew what you're talking about. So let me review it again. Y'all, speaking of that, but when I use those things, and I would ask, I'm going to ask, that's a good question. So Ron Chang, hailing from Taiwan,
Yes, sir.
and Adebisi from
Washington, D.C. by way of Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos.
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 Is Lagos a city?
Yes. Yes.
And Rojas?
Whittier, California, by way of Nicaragua and El Salvador.
Oh, in those countries, there's this guy. We're not talking religion, but there's this person, there's an entity called Jesus. And he used parables. When you read the book in the King James versions, which ain't hardly a redneck version either. I don't know if I have a redneck version of the Bible yet. But he used parables, right? I'm asking.
Yes.
That translates, he used parables. So some of my managers, leaders, so-called people coming up, they don't use parables. And then nobody gets it. So I asked the question to a couple of people. I said, what do y'all know this? One of y'all three, and anybody can raise your hand, but how many people know exactly why Jesus used parables? Ryan Rojas thinks so. Adebisi thinks so. Chang, are you unsure why he used parables?
Love to learn more. Sure.
I'm sorry, say again?
So I'd love to learn why.
You don't think you know why?
I don't. Sure.
Adebisi, why do you think he used parables?
To teach people at their level.
All right, but you can teach people at a level without using a parable.
You could.
Rojas, what's your statement? Why did he use them?
I think I was following up with her. I think that so people can understand him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen to me. Everybody understands when you talk to them at your level, but parables work. What do you mean? They remember it forever. So Jesus tells a story, it gets in your heart, and anybody does. One of the greatest speakers I've ever heard is Andy Andrews. Amazing storyteller. He's not going to come in and do it to you on your level. He's going to do it to you. He's going to tell you a story, and you'll go, oh, I get it. An example is, how does a turtle, now, if there's a turtle on a fence post, now what I don't know is if y'all dealt with a fence post ever. So you know where you got a cow pasture or goats in it, and you got post and you got a fence. If you see a turtle sitting on top of a fence post, what do you know for sure, Ryan? What do you know about the turtle?
The turtle didn't get there by itself.
Right. So how does that translate into your business?
Well, I would say that, for everything as far as sales, recruit, and build, it's not by accident. It's by hard work. It's by also reading the right books, getting the right mentors and coaching.
Ryan, what do you know about the turtle?
The turtle, I just know that it didn't get there by himself. Someone put him there.
What do you know about you having a big business?
Well,
You're going
I
to be a
would say,
turtle. You're going to be a turtle on a fence post, brother. So
Right.
what do you know about you getting a big business?
well,
See where I'm struggling here?
Yeah.
Whereas I mean, watch this. Rojas has been around me like Rojas. What do you know about yourself?
Yeah, that I'm not gonna get to the fence post by myself. Somebody else is gonna put me there.
Somebody's going to help you get there.
Help you get
Right.
there.
Help me get there.
You're not going to get a top of a pit. I didn't get here by myself, Ryan. That's what I know. So that's a parable that hopefully you never forget. So if somebody says, "How you going to get to the top?" I'm going to have some help.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes,
So
sir.
I don't know how you translate it, but if you don't use parables in Mandarin, it's not going to work. You just because now you're using a different language, you still got to use parables and help people know where to get there. All right. So here's one of the things we say is we sell pom-pom, plenty of money and peace of mind. Because in America, there's pom-poms. But I don't know if you got pom-poms in something Nigeria. What was it?
Lagos.
Legos.
Yes.
Legos. Yeah. You know, I don't know if they got pom-poms. You know what I mean? Like you don't have cheerleaders. I don't know if y'all have cheerleaders with soccer or whatever it is, or football or whatever. You know, it's just this. How does it translate? But here's what translates. You got to tell stories. You got to let people know that you're doing a meeting. And a lot of people say, here's what people, I posted it on Facebook. Don't look at your stupid, excuse me. I may not come across your Facebook. You message everybody directly on your team. And you tell your people. So if you've got someone on your team that speaks Creole and French, and they're from Haiti, like, hey, there's a meeting coming up. So you have to tell them. And then I love how you did it. I don't know if you have any of those or can pull them up, like if you did Adebisi, tell them who she is, like her background, the way you got it written out. So like, if I'm sending if I'm going to get somebody to Chang, I'll be like, hey, I don't know this guy. He's a great guy, educated in Taiwan, educated in America. He's got a securities license. He's married. He's got a new little baby named Andy. You know, I'm going to get them all about meeting this guy. You can't just say, Ryan Chang's showing a plan. Ryan Chang's throwing an opportunity. You got to frame it. You got it?
Yep. So this is for Adebisi. It's international speaker, coach, and the world's only help me pronounce that.
Upliftologist.
Upliftologist.
See, there you go. See, I would have got that. But you know, it's a difference, a communication gap you're gonna deal with. All right, go ahead.
Adebisi Adebowale is the founder of the financial and educational consulting firm. As a debt-free graduate of the George Washington University, she's helped students earn over $8 million in scholarships to various colleges and universities throughout the USA. She is now using her platform to help protect families through asset-bearing portfolios as an agent with the Alliance. She's spoken internationally on stage for TEDx, National Association of School Nurses, Massachusetts School Nurse Organization, Weston Public Schools, the George Washington University, Allegren, among many others.
Yeah, so like I'm going like, oh, you're gonna love this girl, man. She graduated from Georgetown, got 2 degrees, somehow did it working and paid for it debt free. Now she's got a big business. You're gonna like her. She's from something like Legos or something. You know, I was just like, you got to get them thinking, like having fun with it, like calling it Legos when you know it's Lego. You know what I mean? Just you got to get them stirred up emotionally, because here's the thing. You're either going to be remembered or you'll be forgotten. So you got to explain to people in Mandarin what that means. Like if I know a redneck, I can tell him, I said, bro, you're going to have to hold your beer or something. You know what I mean? You got to do something crazy to get them to remember you. You know, like be remembered or be forgotten. Because when I talk to your downline or your agent or your partner, your business partner, and I say, hey, there's we're having a family reunion coming up in July, and I go, well, Ryan ain't said nothing to me about it. Well, Sabrina, she ain't said nothing to me about it. And then Sabrina goes, yes, I did. And I go, well, he didn't hear you. You got forgotten. You got forgotten. You did not make an impression. You with me?
Mhm.
So you got to convey the things that I'm conveying, Rojas. And so another thing, so you got to advertise, but don't just post on Instagram posts. You got to go directly people. And then watch this. Rojas, you go to Johnny and you go, Johnny, tell your people. So Johnny tells them. Then you go, good, I delegated. No, you got to go to the bottom of his group and you tell it. You go, so they're going to get told twice. I go, Lord have mercy. You're an arithmetic genius. That means you're really good at math. I don't know if that translates.
Translated.
So you tell your downline. So some people should hear it from 3 or 4 times. Like somebody 6 in depth, it should come down the chain and then around the chain, around the chain, around the chain. So they should hear it 6 times and they should be like, for God's sake, I've told me 72 times. That's when you've told them enough. It's not when they say, what date they say that was? Oh, how much they say that costs? Is that free? Do y'all pay us to come in? You see what I'm saying? That means you haven't told them with vigor, enthusiasm, creativity, and put a parable together.
Mm.
You with me? So, all right. Other thing I want to say, and I'm repeating this so much, like the way I was forming what we're doing, I didn't like. And I could tell some other people didn't like it. But I know I didn't like it. But I was like, got something better. And I was talking to this old man. He said, oh, you into the New American movement? And I was like, what does that mean? He said, you know, people new to America. They not here. They weren't born here. Their granddaddy wasn't here. Great granddaddy wasn't here. They knew. And I was like, and I was thinking, well, I want to be new. And then I knew this guy wasn't new because I knew his daddy was born in this country, right? He said, I tell you when I became a new American. That reminds me of becoming new, having a new life when you were, you know, you had your awakening. But I remember when I became a new American is when I realized my parents were job people that were just doing a job. Like they didn't think business. They didn't think, you know, rich dad, poor dad. When I realized I needed a rich dad, I mean, my dad, when I say my dad's poor dad, it's not a crack on his income. My dad had good money. He was a hard worker, but he wasn't a business person where he could walk away and money could keep coming in. He didn't have a business he could sell. It was just it was a job. There's nothing wrong with a job, but you get my point is new Americans see a vision of legacy changed and grandchildren changed and great grandchildren changed. So I remember when I came a new American. So Ryan Chang's story of becoming a new American, like Ryan, you that story about the, you know, a real life cowboy and, you know, watching it on television when you were 13 years old, kind of give it a shot of that story about when you became, like how you was hoping to and when you became a new American.
Yeah, Andy. So thank you for having me on. You know, growing up, obviously in Taipei, Taiwan is a very dense city. You can literally see, you know, walls when you open your windows. It's not like the United States. There's plenty of space. So you know, I get a lot of American culture by watching HBO, Cinemax, just on television, and you're seeing people who are riding horses, driving fast cars, guns, and just different things that's not possible in our country. Okay, so and just symbolize freedom, right? People can be in this country and go from zero to a hero. That's really not the same story of a lot of people in different areas in the world. So that really inspired me a lot in terms of, hey, you know, I just need to get myself over there and the rest, I'll make sure I figure it out.
Well, when have you been the most excited? Like, I have found where I can go 24/7.
I would say, well, first, when I joined the financial service industry 10 years ago, but I would say I'm most excited when I joined the Alliance, like for real, because in other places, there are some handcuffs, there are some chains there, still there's some limitation, but here, truly day one, you can sell, recruit, and build. That's from what I experienced.
So, I remember you at the bar out at my leadership cabin, and you were sitting there. I thought you were gonna, what combust, what do they call it? Spontaneous combustion. I thought you were gonna go boom and explode. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we shouldn't tell everything we was doing, but we were doing some cowboy stuff, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
thought, I mean, your eyes was like, you're like, oh my God. And I was like, hey, welcome to America, baby. And but I get a lot. One things a new American that I relate is I didn't have access. Like you didn't have access, Ryan. I didn't have access either, bro. I saw TV, and I didn't have HBO. I had 2, 8, 12, and free TV. I'm older, right? But you had to touch the TV to move it, the channel. I go 8, 12, 2, because that was the only channels. And then the only other ones are free North Carolina and PBC. You can't learn nothing on there. I think you learn some bad stuff on there. But these shows I'd watch, like Magnum PI, and there was like this real cool dude who drives his Ferrari. But then there was like this butler guy. What was that guy's name? Oh, I ain't got no Magnum PI people in here. Bob or something like that. They'll be texting me. This guy, he would let him borrow his Ferrari and he'd use the house. I didn't want to be the guy driving Ferrari. I want to be I loaned the Ferrari that said, hey, you can take a Ferrari whenever you want. There you go. As I always do that with people, they'd be like, can I sit in the Rolls Royce? I'll be like, drive it. I don't care. Just a car. Let's go. I want to be that guy. And so telling that story, Ryan, about television and realizing that there was opportunities out there it gets huge. All right.
Well, Andy, I will add that I get a kick out of a lot of underdog stories. I get a lot of kicked out of, movies like, I don't know if you know this movie in the early 90s called Little Giants. Just a bunch of scrawny kids and people don't care about, and then they're going up against like kids that have, good parents, great football program, great money, great coaches, and all of a sudden they beat them in a football game, right? So I get a lot out of that a lot of Americans here there's a lot of underdog story, like kind of like yours, where it wasn't there for you, but you were just, no matter what you're doing, you're trying to seek it out, you keep finding it, you keep getting after it, and not being satisfied with the status quo.
Yes. I could keep rambling about it, but I want to go to Adebisi. Adebisi, congratulations. You've done a lot over there. Do you have another career or job or income source, Adebisi, or is this all with us now?
Multiple streams always.
Multiple streams. But you don't have like a salary job?
I do actually.
You do. Who is that world? Who is that with?
It's a project management role, senior project management role. So I was actually in full-time entrepreneurship. I don't even know how they found me. It was during the pandemic. It was an opportunity that popped up. So I've been supporting that for the past, 3 years almost now. So yeah, I was in full-time entrepreneurship, I think, 4 years, 5 years before they asked me to come on board and support some of their work efforts there.
So, Adebisi, learning how to run your life or run your business and then passing it on to somebody else. Like, for example, when I started this business, I had maybe 9 different sources of income. But eventually I'm looking down here at what I'm doing with the Alliance, and it was like a minute of my time sometimes turned into $10,000. 1 minute, one text, one phone call turned into 10,000. Sometimes 1 minute, I'm texting with a guy, listen to this. This guy, I flew to Toronto because that's where he was at the time, and sat there on my jet for 2 hours. And out of that 2 hours, created a $30,000 a month revenue stream. Whereas I could have spent 2 hours in my coupon book business, my radio show business, my yard cleaning business, my electrician business. So what I did is I ranked all I was doing. 1 minute in this business could make me somewhere upwards of $200, or an hour could make me $200 in this business. In this business, an hour would get me sometimes 300. But when I got over here and going like sometimes 1 minute, 1 second, one quick, like I got a couple quick texts before I got on here. But if I was working on another project of mine, because I still have multiple projects, but I have like 99% delegate. It's called it's called what is your highest, most inner self? Who is the best you that creates this much fun, which is priority, this much revenue? And I was all like, if this one created a one-time pop for 1,000, and this one created $100 a month, I would take 100 a month, 2x, as opposed to $1,000 pop, because now I got to do it again, whereas I could set it up. So when you go through that decision-making process, you got to take that to other people from Nigeria or somebody that's dealing with especially, and what my experience has been is Nigeria. What's the other one I keep No, I'm talking about Tendong. Cameroon. Yeah, so Cameroon, so somebody else from Cameroon, she's got a good job, good career. Different people have great jobs, but in America, people go like, they do one thing. I can't do, but if I don't give, this is kind of a cop out. If I can't give 100%, I don't put nothing in. It's like, oh God. If that was my rule, I wouldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? But is Adabisi tracking with me?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead. Were you going to ask?
No, go ahead.
No, I absolutely. Let me give a little bit of praise to our team lead, my upline, Bridget. She is absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
Phenomenal. And as well as Adam and Emily, we love our team. We have built a phenomenal ecosystem, right? And structure and organization here in our hierarchy. I believe we are the best that you have, Andy. I love our team. And I told Bridget even yesterday when I'm speaking with her, she has done a phenomenal job of replicating herself and her team, right? And building that ecosystem. She found a product, she found something, an avenue that has caused and allowed her to excel in this business everywhere because she's been with another agency prior to this. She killed it there, came over here and is killing it here. And she's built a system that's allowed us to literally rinse and repeat. If you will listen, if you read the books, if you dig in, if you apply the system that has been built. So I completely agree with you that it depends on how you plug in, right? And I just came in, I stepped in, I looked and I watched, I asked questions. If Bridget didn't have the answer, she'll point me to Emily. If Emily didn't have the answer, she'll point me to her mom or her dad. And we have literally built a system that if you're coming onto our team, you will have no reason to fail unless you choose to fail.
Thank you. And I'm extremely proud of y'all. And you might be the best in the country right now. What they say, every dog has his day. And the other thing, here's what the people are saying about you. So and Bridget, yeah, we'll see how and this is a parable. It may not translate. Nobody could lose their mind, but let's see how she handles getting punched in the face.
Ooh.
With me? In other words, you're building your business along and you get stabbed in the back by your best friend. You're building your business and you have a bad car back. You're building your business and something happens to your husband. You're building you know what I mean? That punched in the face. That's what everybody else is saying. And he said, why you say that to me? Because I want you to be ready to get punched in the face. Because what do we know? Every plan is beautiful until contact with the enemy. Every military plan is easy until they make contact with the enemy. I don't know how you translate that. I'm going like, I think about Taiwan and China and all those Asian countries going, I don't talk to them too much about war because I don't read Sun Tzu. I don't even know what, you know what I mean? You don't know who Sun Tzu is. A lot of people know who Sun Tzu, you know who Sun Tzu is, right, Ryan?
Yes, I do.
Tell it how high level. Tell them who Sun Tzu is.
Just there's a book about Sun Tzu that just he was like a war
Did
strategist.
you say just?
No, yeah, just a war strategist. I mean, he basically talks about how like you don't ever really want your enemy to know what you're doing.
Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know. Do you understand Sun Tzu controlled 3/4 of the earth at one time? Like everything was was under his control.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Like
I didn't.
imagine that. Like you understand, you may not know how big Rome was, but the Roman Empire was insane worldwide, right? Caesar and all those, it was crazy. And you know, like this is real negative, but German, well, what's his name? Hitler, he would try to do the Third Reich. He was trying to recreate what Romans did. And then but I'm telling you, Sun Tzu was 4,000 years before that. It might not be accurate on my 1,000 years. It might be 2,000 years, but the time frame, what he controlled was insane. And he wrote a lot of the stuff down the way he thought. Okay. So what I'm saying is we're going to war against our poverty. And again, I don't know how all that translates. We're going to war on our poverty. We're not just going to punch our poverty. We're not going to try to stop it. Like we're going to war against it, which is now you start reading Sun Tzu and you hear about war strategies. Is this coming across, Rojas?
Yes, it is.
Okay, one other little thing. We always BAM FAM, which means book a meeting, BAM, book a meeting, FAM, from a meeting. See, that's not going to translate because the letters don't match into another language. But if y'all don't teach what it means or come up with different words that BAM FAM, yours might be, whatever letters initiate the words for BAM. You with me? And so then your letters, book a meeting, yours might be XCK. I don't know how to say that. Y'all laughing because it's crazy. But I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes, and you want to put myself in my shoes. But we BAM FAM. So we said, all right, we did a meeting, Haiti, Mimi, and then we said there's another one a week from now. We also said, hopefully Mimi said, get back with the person that brung you, which means talk to the person who invited you to the meeting and game plan. Also know there's another meeting. So you're really two BAM FAM'd. You book 2 meetings from a meeting. Now I'm thinking with this, what was the hardest thing I've ever done? What was the hardest thing I've ever done? I'm going to come back to that. What's the hardest thing I've ever done? If I forget, I'm going to say, you remind me, the hardest thing I ever done, and it's getting people work together. So you remind me so I won't forget. Okay, assets. We've been working on assets for everybody so that you have more materials to win with. Would you tell them the assets to the best of your ability that they can access?
Yes. So next Thursday, June 26th, we're also going to have 5 other show the plan Zoom videos. Creole will be hosted by Mimi Romero at 1 o'clock Eastern time. These are all Eastern time. Oscar Ottima will be doing the African language asset at 5 p.m. Brian Rojas will host Spanish at 3 p.m. Andy Bahanu Shali.
That's why we call him AB right
That's
there.
right. AB will be hosting the Hindi language asset at 7 p.m. And Ryan Chang will be hosting Mandarin at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
And she's going to have a resume for each of these. And you know, it's funny because I was like, oh man, if Adam Katz is doing it, you know, what'd you call Adam Katz? You call me one too.
Capitan?
No.
No?
It's not. I don't know if it's derogatory. Starts with a G.
Oh, a gringo.
A gringo. So Adam's just a gringo, right? He's just a gringo, but he's got a great resume. I mean, you know, fellowship, scholarship, resume, you know, where he went to college, he's got a great family. So we want to put, even when Adam's doing it, we want to get a better resume. So on hotspots. So when you look at the hotspots or the opportunity meetings coming up, where Adam was, I think he was just in Louisville. I'm not sure if that's where he was in, or maybe he was in Chicago.
And Adam Katz was in Charlotte.
So when we advertise him coming to Charlotte, we want to have a resume for him. Okay. All right. Other assets. It means stuff that they can use.
Yes, we also are working, Billy has been working on translations for both audio and book for the 8 steps to success in the Inside the Circle of You. Audio available for 8 steps that we have available now is in Spanish, Hindi, Korean, and Mandarin. And books that we have gotten translated, we will print copies and be ready to sell those. We have Spanish, Hindi, and Mandarin. Audiobooks available for Inside the Circle of You, Mandarin and Spanish. And then the book, we have it translated in Spanish and Mandarin, which we will also have copies for that one as well.
So all this is available. So when you get a person started that would jumped on, we had 26 people from Creole jumped in, send them a link. Don't say, yeah, it's available on the ARC. It's just available. Like, we currently have it available. Feel free to use it. Hand it, feed it to them on a silver platter. And then if they listen to the book and they spend 2 hours listening to the book, you just got them 2 hours smarter without you having to be there. At a basic, it tears me up that have people that are unsuccessful and the person coaches them, makes a comment like, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep going through the numbers. And I'm like, that is not the answer. But don't you just keep selling and trying and failing and failing? No, you get better. And the way you get them to get better is we go to the 8 steps. And you go, first of all, let's review your personal use. So now you can point to the book as opposed to you telling people you got to buy a policy. The book says, so now it's the book says you got to buy a policy. Let's review. And then what I'm looking for is them to overfund an IUL minimum. I think the people from Nigeria and Kenya, Cameroon, that they do a better job of saying, don't be buying this $200 a month IUL. That is not going to make an impact on your life. Y'all are saying, hey, you make good money, go for $5,000 a month. And the person's like, $5,000 a month? You go, yeah, that's called one sale. You make one sale and that pays $5,000 a month. And then when you go to show your clients your policy, you go, there's my policy right there, $5,000 a month. You show them when you bought it, cash accumulation. But if you over there showing them, here's my $200, here's my little $200 a month policy, but I think you should buy a $5,000 one. See, this may not translate either. I was trying to monkey see, monkey do. You with me?
Well, Andy, in the industry, actually, there's proven fact that whatever you're going to sell is basically about the same amount of premium you're putting in every year.
If you go to page 86, I guarantee you there's a book in there by a guy who says, he gives this whole long story of he was going to sell pots and pans. And how many people say, I will buy exactly as many pots and pans as you have, I will buy pots and pans. Same with Cutco. If you're selling Cutco knives, and I find you trying to sell Cutco knives, Mary, how many have you bought? Well, I'm trying to sell some first because I didn't have no money. What you had is no faith. What you had is no vision. What you had no concept of the future is what you didn't have. But see, when I look at and I look at some of these teams, Rojas, and it's embarrassing the personal use that their team represents. Listen to me. It's embarrassing. So your job is to educate and teach. But if you don't use my personal use chapter and use it, it's translated in Mandarin, it's translated in Spanish, and I look at your team, $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month. It's like, seriously? Did you read the chapter? Tell me something. You're like, tell me something out of the chapter. Tell me about personal use. It says you should personal use. Well, we know that. Good job. You're not going to do real good on a SAT, or what do they call it these days when you test for college?
ACT, SAT.
SAT, ACT. If that's all you know is you just supposed to use it, you don't really have a comprehension level.
And I think also, Andy, it's one thing to sell a policy or a product to someone without them understanding. You have to make sure that they know. You start where you are, right? I tell most of my clients that I started where I was. I have 2 policies on myself now. You don't have to go and get the $5 million policy today if you can't afford it, because what I don't want you to do is disgrace myself or disgrace yourself. Don't come and get something that you can't afford. Start with where you are today, and as your assets increase, then you can increase your policies. And I got a $500,000 policy myself. Now I went back and got a $2 million policy. I'm probably going to go back and get another one of myself. Why? Because I believe in the policy.
What was your monthly start out or annual? Do you know?
Monthly for my $500,000 policy was $250. So what's that? $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
And now my $2 million is $18,000 a year. So what? $1,400 a month. Yeah. And so what I don't want people is biting off too much, then you can chew, and now you're choking.
We used to explain these 8 steps over and over again. It was like, it's a movie called Thunderdome, where or one of those movies where the world is coming to the end, and the children are talking, and they're talking about what the adults blew the world up, and they go, we've got to remember to tell the story of what happened. You know, it's one of those kind of like science fiction things, but it's the same thing when it comes to the Bible. It's the same thing when it comes to Sun Tzu. It's the same thing come with John Maxwell. You got to tell the stories over and over again. So we've got to remember the story. The problem is we hand the people a book and we expect them to get it out of there without us telling them. So it's forgotten as fast as they read it. But if you tell them and you get them to preach it. So if I got you to just spend 15 minutes on personal use, now you study it, you take notes, and then when you train on it, your mind has expanded dramatically because you had to learn it better so you could explain it. But if we translate this into other languages and all you do is shoot it to them or hand it to them, and by the way, we don't have paper book. We've ordered thousands of Spanish, thousands of Mandarin, and Hindi. No, I don't know that we have Hindi available. We may or may not, because the 18,000. I know we're going to do it. I know by the way, we got, can you get that one? We actually have this. We actually have my book in Spanish, but it's on the spiral. When we did a few more of those for Oscar, or how'd you say it? Oscar. We got 100 of his, you know, and we got them out immediately to people. But we're going to get like thousands of the book, the hardcover book. We're going to get all that set up. But if all you do is take that book and hand it to them, just like a lot of my gringo friends have done, and they're just handing the book, you know, and like, bro, you gotta get into it. You can't take these assets. And then audios. I talk to people been in 2 years, and I go, hey, you listen to audio of my books? And they go like, I didn't know there was one. You're like kind of looking like, where's the manager? Where's the leadership at? All right. So Rojas, you've been with us way longer, these guys.
Right.
And people ask me something like, well, this guy's been a lot longer. How come this guy's bigger? You with me? You've seen people flash in the pan, take off, get punched in the mouth, and go away. You've also people just come along and just keep growing like crazy, right?
Yes, sir.
If somebody tells you that, how come some people grow so much faster than others and have so much, you know, this guy's been around for 3 years and he's got 2 people selling. This guy's been around for 18 months and he's got 22 people selling. What do you think is slowing people down? What do you think is speeding them up? So what you're talking to is somebody comes in, First time ever, they jumped on a Hispanic opportunity meeting, and they look around and they go, why is this person growing like crazy? Why is this guy 22 people selling? This guy's only 3 people selling. What's the reasons that you think, Rojas?
I think a lot of it is on that book that you're holding up there.
Oh, you think
You know?
so?
Yeah. It has a lot to do with actually the leadership not holding each other accountable to those books, the standards. We're not teaching that. And the other thing too is belief. You know what I'm saying? I would say belief has a lot to do with a person, and enthusiasm. Like I see Ryan Chan fired up out of his mind, and that creates a sell in other people. You know what I mean? Enthusiasm sells. But it's mainly that book, 8 Steps to Success, being coachable, being teachable, accountable, working, association. That's what I'm thinking.
Adebisi, you see what I'm thinking, what I'm saying. You see people been here 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, been here 3 years, 3 months. What say ye, Miss Consultant, 2-time Georgetown no debt graduate?
George Washington, the other George. I said it on the call yesterday, and Lucero, you can hold me to it, that I agree with Brian, but I also would say that with one of the steps, being accountable, I have a serious problem with people wanting an accountability partner and not holding themselves accountable. It pisses me off. I'm not going to come and do the work. Like I tell my team, you want the results, I can teach you, I can coach you, I can encourage you, I can be on the calls with you, I can help close the deals. But if you refuse to learn and hold yourself accountable, there's going to come to an extent where what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm helping you with is not going to any longer be a responsibility of mine. So it's an inborn feeling, but it's also you catching the fire. And with that, for instance, it's important for uplines, for leaders, to hold the hands of their downlines and let them actually be immersed into the same environments that they're in. I know one thing that Bridget did for me and I do for my team is when you have a call, I'll hop on, I'll help you, I'll see how you speak and help you and coach you through that call. But at the end of the day, the accountability, the onus is on that person. You can't see someone and hope and wish for what they have. You got to get out and do the work.
So one basketball coach in the ACC is winning like crazy, recruiting and growing. Another coach, terrible. 12 coaches, one of them's in last place, one of them in first. Go to SEC, oh, this, that. Same thing with football. One company just blowing up. Same thing in rugby. One team's not dressed properly, embarrassing. One team shows up late, embarrassing. One team refuses to practice, embarrassing. Success is so simple to do. Also simple not to do. So we try to simplify it here so you can go to the elements. So here's what I believe. Not believe. This is 35 years of building teams. The team that's growing the fastest masters the basics. Everybody's reading. Everybody's listening to audios. Everybody talks about coming to the family reunion. So the tighter the team, you get 3 people that believe in a family reunion, you're going to have 6 there. But as soon as you have 12 people and 4 of them like, maybe not come, and then 8 do, then when you go to 20, they see the 4 out of the 12. So monkey see, monkey do, people see. So the more tight your team is and everybody promotes it, you create a momentum that can't be stopped. But one person on your team, one person on my team that goes, or they don't promote the convention as much. So then they go like, well, she don't think it's that important. Y'all do, but she don't. I think I'm going with her since she don't have to go. So as everybody, the weakest, what they say, if you have a chain and you got link, a chain link, the chain's as strong as the weakest link. You pull it and it breaks where the weakest leadership is.
Wow.
So if you're top 3 people out of BC, the weakest person is how strong you are. That's why when I hire somebody, I'm not trying to hire somebody less stronger than them. I'm finding somebody better than Alex Abian, better than Mike Leventovich, better than Adam Katz, better. And you go, what do you mean better? Well, like, for example, none of the ones that I mentioned speak 2 languages. How many languages you speak, Ryan?
3.
Better. And then you look at his education. He's got a secure. What kind of securities license you have?
SIE 663.
See, no, those guys don't have it. You go like, are you putting down your boys? That would be like saying, I got this 6'10" guy with a wingspan of 7 foot, and he's got straight A's and he's got great character, and I hired him on my team. How tall are you, Andy? About 5'10" and a half, 5'10" and a half, 5'11". You know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting myself down. He's taller than me. He can play basketball better. Well, how in the world can this guy recruit better? Because he can speak to people in Mandarin and we can't. We're going to be doing sign language like, you can get your insurance license. That don't work.
Well, Andy, I'm really big on chapter 5 at 10-0 meetings. You were talking about how people that've been here for a while versus maybe like a Brian that's been here 10 plus year. Me and Ed basically been here for 2 years, 1 year, for example. But I can promise you one thing is right now, all of us, we have tickets to a family reunion. And I can promise you another thing is during a Stage to Success, when it went on sale, we didn't get just 1 ticket.
Got some for
We
our
got
team.
more than 1 ticket.
Right.
So, and then we're pushing, we're promoting, we're prospecting, because when you're selling, you're more on the activity and momentum business, but on the building the business, you're in the prospecting and promotion. So not only we're getting multiple tickets, but you're telling the story of to your downline, hey, you need to get multiple as well, and make it a goal and say how many people we're going to bring next time.
Sound like I hear you wanting to say something.
I have an idea and it might be dumb. Do you want me to tell it?
Well, if it's dumb, it's going to be embarrassing.
I know. I'm willing to risk it. I don't know if you want me to risk it, but
All right, give it a shot.
okay. So I talking so much about the 8 steps, it reminded me of a conversation that I used to have a lot with President's Club members. So I work in President's Club, and we used to do a lot of accountability calls. And I started having some people rate themselves on a scale from 1 to 10 every single week on how well they did on each step in the 8 steps.
Yeah.
And so every week we would get together and say, okay, what did you rate yourself on attending all meetings? Did you get on the activity call, the product call, the TWC? Did you read your book 15 minutes every night? So I don't know, maybe we can come up, I don't know, just an idea.
I love it. Well, one thing we do is like, look how many people attended the Creole meeting. Have we all look around and talk to somebody? Hey, I love asking people like, where are you from? Chicago. Is your family from Chicago? No, my family's born in Miami and moved up here. Oh, okay. Now my granddaddy, he was from Haiti, or my granddaddy was Jamaican. Now, because he's just talking about heritage. And I go, all right, but you don't speak the language because 2 generations removed. They go, well, a little bit. That's good. What do you do for a living? Like, it's a good way to go. What do you do for a living? And people sometimes, well, I work in the automotive industry. And y'all have heard me do this. What do you do? I change tires. Oh, you like a tire changer guy? Yeah, And I go, oh, it sounds cool. I mean, like, what do you do? So then I can relate to them. All right. The hardest thing that I've ever done in this business, most proud of. It's weird, but it's really strange, getting people to work together. Impossible. In the beginning, I don't make money off of her. Why should I contribute to her success? She's on Adam Katz's team, not me team. Like the ultimate of selfishness. But that's normal. So we kids, my toy, that's my toy. All right, that's what you get. And you go like, let me explain to you, sweetie. You're going to let her play with this toy and you're going to get another toy. So the math is bizarre on this. This is how, one of the ways I convince people. Ryan, let's say I send somebody to Vegas and you help them out. Your territory, your world, you give them help. Now you got Diane Lampy helps you in Dallas. Jason and Olga Mathis help you in Fort Lauderdale. Eric Belair helps you in Melbourne. I help you in Burlington. Brandon helps you on letting people plug into his. So you help one person, let's say you have 3 people, but you've got 18 people across the country being helped by other people. I said 18-3 ratio. You invested in 3 and you get paid back 18. It's actually a religious thing too. It's if you're trying your best to help God's world, or you're trying to help America, now all of a sudden you have a responsibility to help people you don't make money off of, because you're helping the upline, which is the country. Does that make sense? So the broader your vision is and the bigger your dream is, the more you're willing to help other people. So the greed factor, which is you get a 13-3 ratio. Sometimes you might get a 30-2 ratio. You help 2 people, but you got 30 people out across the country. So the greed part, 30-2, that's a good greed. And the other thing is having a bigger picture, like you're helping the country or you're helping God grow. And I mean, like, God don't need no help. Let's be clear. He's got this. On the other hand, you doing what you can, having faith, helping other people. So that's the concept that we've translated here. So Chang, you don't speak Spanish, do you, Chang? Little, un poco, poquito. Like me, poquito, poco, margarita, dinero, and vámonos, right? But you have somebody that's just really deep in the Spanish language, and you don't feel like you plug them into Oscar.
Oscar.
You plug them into Rojas. And now Rojas owes you, right? And it's not like you owe me, but it's like, hey, Rojas, anything you need, let me know. And then he gives them, oh, okay, do it. And it's not like I don't have time to talk to him. You got to. To me, I just did something for Boo Corrigan. He's our athletic director. And he was just so grateful for what I did for him. And I just came back to him. I said, I'll show you the text. I was like, hey, man, you would do the same thing. You're always trying to help somebody. You're always trying to pay it forward. And I appreciate you being like that. And I know you love to help other people. So I know you know how much I enjoyed doing that for you. And he was like, yes, sir. And the pilot's got some great swag, the Wolfpack stuff. But I didn't say, no problem, don't worry about it. It's nothing, because it was big what I did. So if Ryan, you help somebody, Ryan, don't say, it's no problem. Say, you would do the same thing out of BC. If I sent somebody out of BC, where are you located? Where's home?
Right outside of College Park, Maryland. I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. College Park, Maryland and Atlanta?
Lanham is so right up the street from University of Maryland, College Park. So Lanham.
Okay, so she helps you out, and she says, and you say thanks. And she goes, no, out of she's like, you would do the same thing, and we know you would. So what we're doing is we're verbally committing people to be accountable.
Yeah.
And so that's if we didn't have that culture, what we're doing would not work. Because nobody, I'm not plugging her into this person. They'll try to steal my person. They'll try to sway my person. Like, no, we don't do that at all. Not allowed. But it's the culture. We help, but we don't hurt. What are we leaving out? Okay, so your suggestion is that people get more accountability partners.
Yes.
And what would be fun is you got an accountability partner that's not in your hierarchy. Like I know Kate and Mike Marisi are accountability partners with Brandon and Haley, and they're accountability partners with Spencer and like that. I can see the little networks, people that relate to each other, and then they say things to each other like, "What are you going to do about the children?" They go like, "Well, we're bringing them to the convention." Well, aren't they a problem? And Kate or Haley's like, "Well, I'm going to get somebody to, you know, a babysitter to come with us to the convention. You know, accountable, like helping each other, not letting each other off the hook.
Yeah.
Even though you don't make any money off of them, because if Kate and Maurice come as a couple, they're more powerful. And if Brandon and Britt and Meredith come as a couple, they're more powerful. So the accountability, getting each other to do the right thing. So at BC, I can see you having a very diverse group, because somebody's going to say, you know what, I know a person. Do we have Korean? Is that listed yet? Korean's coming, because I know we've got at least 2 people. If you know, write that down. Like, I'm not kidding. We might not have a breakout this time for it, but oh, and so we're working on the agenda for the family reunion, and we can't have 10 different people or 10 every different country from Africa. We can't have 10 different Spanish, but we are going to have whoever's in the Spanish world teaching, and have 3 different people teaching from the Spanish. And it's tough. And maybe we don't have you talking this time, but maybe you're talking the next time. Okay. So anything that y'all can think of that helps us pour gas on this, light us up. But at BC, you'll just, we were in the airport, and one of the agents that I talked to a lot, I was like, you see that couple back there, you know, they look like, I mean, I'm guessing they're from a different country. And I had a suspicion, and I was like, go talk to them. She's like, what do I say? I said, I don't want to make up something. And she came back, started talking to them, and it's like, you should see the text she sent me back. She was like, that was so easy. And I was like, man, we got lucky. Sometimes you talk to them, it goes bad. They're like, I don't know you and don't want to know you. Get away from me. That's 1 in 100. Most time you go up to people and they're just, hey, how you doing? Where y'all headed? Atlanta. Yeah, we're on the same same bus, same airplane to Atlanta. Where you live in Atlanta? Yeah, we're actually going on to Tennessee. Well, oh, really? What part of Nashville? You know, it's just conversation. So you learn what'll work to start that conversation. Next thing you know, they're familiar with the Hindi language. Next thing you know, they know Mandarin. So it's different reasons now to meet people. We had really great response for people. And then we need more people. So, which selling, who else can do talks? Who else can do presentations?
Yes, we did have an incredible amount of people get on the calls yesterday. Obviously, the goal is to like 10x it, right? So on this call today, I want to, please, if you're listening to me, I need your help. I need your help to double the number of attendees that we have for the next calls next Thursday.
And speakers.
And speakers.
You know, I mean, we need every,
Yes.
because we're going to do them every week. I don't want BC to have to do it every week. I don't want Bridget to ever do away. Who's quality that we can get up in your team and trust them? So Ryan, she needs to know who speaks.
I need to know.
Do you want to know now or later on a call like you?
We don't need you talking now, but we need you to text.
Yeah, I need you guys to text me if you've got people on your team that you trust that, you know, can show the plan or is willing to. We can show them that speak Spanish, Creole, Hindi, Mandarin. I know we want to do Korean too, but we don't know what we don't know. So I need y'all to reach out to me and say, hey, I've got this person who'd be great for this. And I'd love to reach out and coordinate. We already have these calls scheduled every Thursday until July the 10th. So Thursday. But I also need you guys' help to spread the word and get more people on these calls.
Sarah, are those the only languages that we're focused on? Are we interested in doing French?
Do we need it? Because if we need it, we will do it. Most of the people that I know speak French are going to fall into the Africa category. I don't know of any people from France, for example. You with me?
Mm-hmm. It will be the African category. If French is, as English is spoken there, French is also one of our main languages, our communal languages. But it also can branch over into French. So
if you
let me
think,
do some thinking and now circle back with Lucero.
I want you to keep making suggestions like that, because somebody go like, heck yeah, I got 3 people that they only speak French and they're from this country. So we're trying to figure out how to create these communities and get people that relate culturally. And if we need to divide them up a different way, I'm not screaming this is the way to do it. This is my shot. Like my first idea I didn't like, and then I like the new American idea.
Got it.
And what'll happen is people will break through barriers, like how fast your team is breaking agency managers. When we had an 18-year-old that Craig went agency manager while he's 18 and a half years old, agency manager. And it's a different mindset. If we teach people in the beginning, they see this business for the first time, and then they just put everything they got in it. And to help people get more faith is, if you say reading helps, I say reading helps, Rojas says reading helps, Lucero says it, people believe repetition. They think must be true if 4 people said it. But if you say reading helps and another guy says, I never really thought much of reading. The strongest link, the weakest link is the strength of our chain. And if everybody's not hammering, be on the TWC. Like, it's bad. It's bad when you talk to somebody in your group and they're selling insurance and they're coming to meetings, and then you ask, they don't know about the new American movement because they've not plugged in. So it's like embarrassing to that little hierarchy or that little agency that some of the people haven't been told to plug in to the TWCs. They're not, you say, hey, what book are you reading now? And they go, what book? Like, have you read Goals? Well, where'd you get that book? That's on page 86, a list of books in here, and this is listed. Or they come up to you and they're coming up to me going like, hey, listen, any way you can give me a suggestion on books to read? I'm like, the first question I usually ask them is, who's coaching you? I really go like, who's coaching you? Like, who's getting paid? Who's making a percentage off of you? It's really questionable sometimes whether that person should keep giving a percentage, because they're not leading. So they don't know that on page 86 it has all the book suggestions. And then you ask them if they're reading, and they go, I didn't think it was important. How did you not think it was important? It's 1 out of 8. You try to get y'all like the analogy I use about getting into a safe. Like, here's your numbers: left 22, right 33, left 48, click. You can't just skip one of the numbers. It won't work. You got to do all 8, and it just opens up a safe. Last comment, Rojas. We got to get off here. What are you going to do in the Spanish market? How big is it?
We haven't even touched the surface of it. We haven't even picked at it. The amount of opportunity that you just opened up in the last couple of weeks has been. We're fired up. Our organization is just like head over heels for it. Like we are just developed. We're the pioneers of the Spanish market, and the possibilities of this is just insane. What Jeremiah Docky and Bridget M&M have done with IU Wells is what we're seeing in the Spanish market. Our culture, and Paolo is right, our culture, for some reason, we're not educated about insurance and how it works and how we can create tax-free income. And if we can educate that market, man, I'm getting chills about it right now. But we have to pioneer this, and we all have to be together in this in unison and preaching this 8 steps in Spanish, in English, and Korean, and French Creole. We all have to do it together. And when 2 or 3 are together, where 2 or 3 are together, miracles happen. So I'm just excited about this. All these little notes that I've been taking as you're talking is, how can I do better in Spanish? How can I be the capitan in Spanish, right? I want to take accountability. My team and I, we were talking yesterday in the hotspot. We figured we call you, instead of Andy in Spanish, we're going to call you Andres. Capitan, baby. We need to bring Lucero Diaz back from
I know.
LDU. We need to start saying El Capitan. And that's the bottom line.
Like if you
Oh, I said so.
this, and y'all get creative with it. How crazy is it? Because we're going to have an all Spanish group breakout, and it's and who cares if if they're in your organization, let them have their world.
Yeah.
Adebisi, what's your wrap us up thought?
We also are very excited in our whole hierarchy and our whole culture, because we're experiencing literally those who are like my parents. Either they came to this country and we're first generation, or those who are immigrants raising their next level of first generation. We are seeing a transformation within that. We're running with the mantle that our parents given us, right, to come to the United States of America and run and have that American dream. And like I stated yesterday, someone asked me, what is my why? Because I spoke about one of the books, Start With Why. My parents are my why. My next generation are my why. The struggles my parents had, the stepping stone that they given me, I've lived such a privileged life because of their sacrifices. And now, as they are aging, as they're getting older, it is my duty to carry that mantle, right? The Bible tells us about children being the arrows, right, in their parents' hands. So we're going to go much further, because now that they didn't have the knowledge that they didn't get, we have now, and we're soaring. And so our children who are coming behind us only have to excel, right? They will have the blueprint. So as we're writing the blueprint, we're working the blueprint, we're looking forward to soaring and excelling. So we're super excited, fired up about what we're doing here, and we're going to cause this baby to soar.
Okay, so listen, there's nobody in the country like this. There's nobody has what they call it inspirational marketing. Y'all know what that means, where you can hire people and hire people and hire people and hire people. Commission system to die for, 38 different levels. That's cool. We've also got 38 different carriers. Nobody has that. And now we've got cross-line helping in Mandarin, Creole, West African, Hispanic, Korean. Nobody knows how to do what we're doing with estate planning. Nobody's doing, there's other people doing estate planning, but they don't do it in inspirational marketing, and they sure ain't doing it in the Hispanic market. Like this is,
yeah,
and Hispanic, go to AUM, get your securities license. Mandarin, go get your license. We've got a big career offering that nobody else offers. And listen to this. Here's something new that Ryan's going to share with you. No carrier names, Ryan. We're bringing 2 carriers that do foreign national. Kind of talk about what a foreign national is as you wrap up. Comments about wrapping up, but educate people a little bit on this, Ryan. And if y'all are interested in this, you got to ask about it, because it's a little of a specialty market.
Of course, Andy. One, thank you for your vision on the New American movement. With the foreign national markets, I've been dabbling into it and kind of understand how to bring high net worth clients from different countries. There's about 87, 88 countries that we can bring over, that they didn't need to have a status to come here. They just need to be able to travel here. We can get them to purchase IULs here with one of our carriers. And the great thing about it is the minimum of their purchase coverage is $1 million. Okay. And then they do have to open a bank account here, which will assist them with that. They do have to do their physical here, sign the paperwork here, but it's $1 million coverage minimum. They do have a certain requirement in terms of the bank account deposit. It needs to be held to cash at least 30 days in the country. They're doing annual premium, no monthly premium, so no chargeback. Our persistency will go up the roof.
Right, Ryan.
And
We're bringing on 2 companies. You're describing one. Everything you're saying, I'm not sure applies. I want you to tell what it is.
I know one of them does.
Okay, I understand. But what I'm saying is, do you understand? I don't know what a foreign national is. And neither does Rojas, and neither does Lucero. You with me? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Help us understand what is. You're telling me the parameters, like if I've got one, I can't do this, I can do that. I don't even know what it is.
So a foreign national would just be, let's say, someone from Taiwan, someone from China, someone could be from French, Sweden. They're just there, but they don't have any status at all, any ties at all with the United States.
Whoa. Right? No ties.
No
Meaning
ties.
they don't have a passport.
They don't have a U.S. passport. They don't own a home here. They don't own a business here. Nothing. They're just a complete foreign nationals. But if they can be able to travel here, then we can get it.
Then each company, so far 2 companies, there will be a minimum. They do have to be associated. For example, the bank account.
Correct.
For
The
example,
minimum requirement is a U.S. bank account with a certain amount of dollars.
but we've never been able to sell to those people because they're not Americans. We couldn't sell to them. Like Adebisi is American. I mean, she's here. She's established, right? But there's people that come over here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe they're starting a business. Maybe they like to gamble in Las Vegas.
That's right.
Ryan? Facts?
Yes, sir. Facts.
So they're here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They come in and party and have a good time. They can buy American product through this foreign national.
Oh, that's bad football.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, Spain, there's a lot of Spanish speaking countries that have some huge wealth that comes into this country messing around. And they don't know that they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So
Well, the statistics is there's about 21 million high net worth foreign nationals, individuals. The net worth of these 21 million people have surpassed $100 trillion with the T this year. I don't see why not we can't get any of that money. I want to get all of it, hence the New American Movement. All of it. And we don't have to repeat, we don't have to recreate anything. We got the 8 steps. Like yesterday, when we have our multiple language showing the plan, my team is fired up. I said, hey, can you do what I do, repeat what I do, maybe in Cantonese and in Vietnamese and Tagalog? We're trying to hire multiple language in our team. And so I encourage everybody on the call to also hire, because now you got leaders at Rojas, at Abisi, myself, and many other leaders we can coach and train. So you don't have to do it. We have the roadmap here. We just have to painstakingly preach the 8 steps in different language now. We don't have to recreate it. Painstakingly tell the story of what's going on here. Is everybody coming to a family reunion or not? If not, why not? I don't care if you're here 6 years. I don't care if you're 20 years. Why you're not at the next convention? I want to see us sell stadiums. That's my vision. Like I'm Team Alliance. I'm Team Albright all the way. You explained to us before. It's kind of like we all have a 4. I got a 4 in Vegas. Brian Rojas got a 4 in Tampa. Adebisi's got a 4 in Maryland. We're at war, guys. Right? So I'm gonna back you up. You guys need my help in Vegas, but if I need help, I know Brian's got me. I know Adebisi's got me. Right? This is the alliance.
And by volunteering, you understand it helps your business grow, because you jump on there, people start to learn who you are, and the more they learn who you are, because you're doing presentations, they're more likely to help you with your new person with more vigor and more energy and more enthusiasm, because they kind of start to get to know you. You become a little bit famous in that category. So we're looking for more speakers, for presentation people, and we're looking at the convention you come in, we're going to have very, very limited people in each category, and we'll cover the basics, but we'll hit it hard as everybody breaks out. And then we are going to have breakouts where it's all English, but you can either do annuity, IUL, or AUM, or recruiting. So you'll have breakout opportunities in different topics, and then you'll have breakout opportunities that are all in those different different language asset groups. Last thing, it might not be out right now, but it's going to be out in minutes. You go on your profile on the ARC, like in the contracting, where you put your phone number and your address, and you'll click on which asset you have. If it's a African asset that you're from Nigeria, it's an asset that you're from Sierra Leone. If your asset is Hispanic. So we'll have the main leaderboard, but now we can do leaderboards of all the people that represent that asset. So we'll say who's the strongest that has the most premium and their Hispanic language. So you can't be clicking the language and you don't know the language just so you can get on the leaderboard. But on the English, it's America. That's the leaderboard's going to happen. There, you don't pick English. We assume you are English if you ain't one of these. And if you're one of these people that you may not speak English, you're going to be in both categories. You're going to compete. So anything I say or that don't look right to you because of your country, your culture, speak up. Let Lucero know. And we're trying to do our best to make it make sense to everybody. All right, a little bit overtime. I'll make some overtime money, time and a half today. I'm excited about it. Thank y'all very much. It's great to get to know you a little bit more out of BC. And, you know, me and Ryan spent some time, and me and Rojas go way back. But now it's time to pour on the gas. Same thing whatever I say. You think this opportunity is going to last, you need to act like we've only got now or right now. All right.
Right.
Love y'all. Thanks. Appreciate you. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.